Now I'd like to invite the person who is TV journalist from Poland now, but some time ago he was writing the fairy tale for children. So he knows very well how to create artificial fake stories, right? Grzegorz Nawrocki, please welcome.
Hi. Hello. I was actually there's going to be a no slide talk. Yeah, I was actually giving different voices to children characters in the animation movie, so. Yes, I did actually, but in fact that made-up story was supposed to bring some good to those children, which when we talk about fake news, I don't think so. I don't think they do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth Warren. Do you know the name? Many of you do, of course. She's an American politician, a Democrat, and a very likely candidate in presidential elections, in the next American elections. And she has recently published a post on Facebook claiming that Mark Zuckerberg supports Donald Trump. Did you see it? No, but she actually did. And it looked very professional, I'm telling you. She placed a photograph, the two gentlemen looking at each other's eyes and shaking hands and all of it. It looked really reliable. And there it went out into the world for other people to see. She actually paid Facebook for it, you know, to reach an even greater audience. And it did. It actually worked very well. Only in the very last sentence did she write that it was untrue. Well, she did it, obviously, to demonstrate how easily we can get manipulated by made-up stories with the help of social media. For you people here, it's absolutely obvious, there's no question about it, but for the general audience, it isn't quite. Well, she actually did it to protest against the Facebook policy to exclude politicians from the anti-fake news program. Excuse me? Exclude politicians from anti-fake news program of Facebook? Come on, would we be far away from the truth to claim that it is mainly the politicians who are responsible for the spread of fake news? Either by refusing a proper education in their respective countries, or just by producing the news themselves. Well, by the way, the Pew Center, the Americans' Pew Center survey says that most of the people believe it's mainly the politicians who are responsible for the fake news, but it's the responsibility of us journalists to actually combat the misinformation. But quite frankly, I don't think so. I don't think journalists can actually do the job, or win the war, whatever you call it, on their own, without a solid educational framework, of which we're speaking a lot today. All right, this is big politics. But it also applies to our everyday lives and our everyday choices. When Ola Tsvetkova, I'm not sure whether she's in the audience, but when she invited from the Chivning organization here in Belarus, when she invited me to make this short talk, she said, well, make it motivational, you know, on media, fake news and media literacy. And I said to her, Olga, there you are. Did I tell you that? I did, in fact. You are putting me in a very difficult situation. Have mercy. Come on. It's a suicide mission. I mean, because when you look around today, things really do seem to come from bad to worse. I mean, week by week. Or for that matter, I could say tweet by tweet. Yes, I did have him in mind, if you're asking, if you're wondering. And let's make it even clearer. Lie by lie. And for the reasons that I will not go into in detail at the moment, large masses of people are buying it, are enjoying it, are happy with it, no matter the consequences. Well, let's have fun until the music plays. But it's a rather sad constatation. Because misinformation, false information, whatever, fake news, whatever you call it, is not just an annoyance. It can kill. It actually did in the past. There's nothing new about it. But the mass communication media made it even more productive or effective, whatever you call it. A long time ago, when there was no internet, we didn't even have 24-hour news channels. A Polish scientist, a woman called Marie Skłodowska-Curie, you probably know the name, she was working on a radioactive element called radium. Obviously, it was deadly to human health and to human life, but people didn't know about it. But it looked nice. You know, it sort of glowed in the darkness. It looked very cozy, as if it was a toy for children to play with at night. That's what it looked like. And the word of mouth spread that it had miraculous properties, like, healing properties, radium. And all of a sudden, the radium craze started in France then. Believe it or not, I was surprised. I was doing a film about it. That's why I learned about it. People started to add it to just about everything. There was radium water. There was radium bread for people to eat. They were actually curing impotence with radium. Not very advisable today. I'm sorry you're laughing, but okay. There were spas where you could actually use radium because people didn't realize it was deadly. Only a few years later did we actually realize how deadly it was, when people started to die of cancer, of course, caused by radioactivity. Well, you might say it's an out-of-date example. Well, maybe not. What we can say is that this was, remember, no internet, no television. This was basically misinformation on a relatively small scale. But have things changed that much? I mean, have a look at anti-vaccination moves, their websites and so on and so forth. I mean, if you read them, if you believe them, and if you don't check them, you put yourselves and your loved ones at risk. But people do it. People do it because they cannot tell reliable sources from unreliable sources, and those sites usually look very, very professional and nicely pretend to be scientific. Next. So when she asked me why, okay, give me the title of your speech. I said, okay, let's make it sound a bit optimistic. And I came up with something like this: fake a new great plague. Well, you should be smiling here, or laughing rather. Okay, give it a shot. Right, I have to work harder on this. Yeah, I'll change it. For the next presentation, I'll change this particular line. Anyway, you might quite rightly wonder why this gloomy title is supposed to be optimistic, but personally, I think that just like in medicine, when you have a good diagnosis, you're halfway to a successful treatment. That's how I would like to see it personally. I'd like to believe that we are halfway to combat this burning issue, which in many sources, and let me just make a point, reliable sources, double-checked sources, is considered to be as dangerous as racism, climate change, or even terrorism. Of course, you certainly know why that is. Because false information, fake information, misinformation doesn't only make people take bad decisions. It also makes people reluctant to accept any other facts, even if they are true, because they get completely diluted and people can't recognize them. And consequently, which is very, very sad, it destroys trust among us. It destroys trust, which is the basis of the existence of our societies, basically. We can't go on without trust, even if these are big words. We just cannot. We really become an easy target then. for all those people who want to manipulate us from backstage. We normally don't see them, but we know they are there and know quite a lot about us. Remember Cambridge Analytica. They are there. Because it's always easier to manage a society that is disintegrated, ignorant, misinformed, and using the language of this conference, medially illiterate, which we don't want. So I think, should we finish, yes? Okay. I'll tell you what then. I think, honestly, personally, I think we should send a very strong voice and a very strong message from this conference, symbolic message from Minsk today, if you'd like to join me. And I think it would just be a great idea to start together, as we sit together in this room today, to start a new global initiative, a new global move, a campaign together. A campaign this time targeted precisely at local governments, because they are very often responsible for education, at local councils, and also NGOs that are interested in this subject in all the respective countries that we are representing today. This campaign could bear a very nice name, which we came up together with my colleagues: Global Media Literacy Dialogue, Verbi Valor, which in Latin means the value of words. Well, I don't know whether you are interested in this or not, but I would be very, very welcome to talk to you afterwards. And any organization, any of you who would like to take part in this initiative would be very welcome. 2 or 3 organizations from different countries would be just enough. And I'm just bringing you a message or a declaration from Poland, from one of the largest NGOs that is there on the market in Poland in terms of digital education. This NGO is called Cities on Internet Association, a great big think tank, that they will give us all help we need, that will support us and give us a sort of help if we decide to start. And I think it's an excellent idea if you like it. So if you would like to declare that you would like to become a part of this move, create this initiative, I think it would just be a great outcome of this meeting, of this conference. We all have great networking possibilities, of course, all around the world. And if we join efforts, I think something very, very sensible might come out of it. Because I believe and I'm sure that we still care about verbi valor, the value of words. Thank you very much.